If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio. And I get the piss taken out of me all the time by my friends because I won't do certain things. Oh, here, put some sun cream on. I'm like, no. I'm going to use natural, organic, unrefined, raw shea butter. They're like, you're crazy. Am I? I'm in shape, I'm healthy, I have energy, I'm passionate about my business, I'm always motivated, I'm always focused. It's, my dick always works. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about male depression, and I think I've cracked it. I think I've figured out why it happens, and I've been through depression myself. I'm in the men's lifestyle industry. I know what's really going on at the core level, and I see people saying stuff like, oh, male depression happens because men aren't allowed to talk about it. Yeah, we are. We do. We talk about it quite a lot now as well. We need to raise awareness. It's going to still happen because you fuckers have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm talking about the experts at the top, the experts, the doctors. They don't understand men. If you've got male depression, I'll cure it like that. And I'll show you now. There's obviously other things involved, like not getting enough sunlight. I've done a video on this before, and I will include that at the end. And even though I say so myself, it's a fantastic video that really does outline the lack of kind of fresh air, the lack of going outside, the lack of sleep, looking at screens, whatever. That does obviously impact it. But I feel like I did that for the whole of this winter, and I felt absolutely fine. I was just locked in on the business and in the gym and whatever. But I felt fine because I kept everything regulated. I kept everything at a decent level. And that'll make sense in a minute. And my mentality was sharp as well, bang on where it needed to be. So I'm going to break this down for you guys now, and I'm going to give you the 5 points that I think are the main triggers for male depression. Now, number one, it's a lot easier for a man to achieve a hormonal imbalance, which means your testosterone is out of sync. So as your testosterone drops, estrogen goes up, you have a hormonal imbalance, you feel like shit, you start thinking more like a woman. It just doesn't match up to your physiology. As a man, you just don't feel good. You have low energy. You're always depressed. You're lying in bed and you can't be bothered to get out of bed and do something. You're not motivated. You're not focused. These things all come together, okay? The higher your testosterone, the better you'll feel. Ask any guy who's on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. They're like, oh, I feel fucking amazing all the time. Why do you think guys get on steroids and then become addicted and can't get off them? They make you feel amazing. So guys take steroids and they're like, wow, this feeling of having energy all the time, always feeling positive. Yeah, it's because your testosterone's gone sky high. It makes you feel better. And as a man, it's a lot easier to disrupt that hormonal imbalance because we're surrounded by plastics. There's a mass level of estrogen in our water sources. Plastic bottles, for example, you leave that in the sun for 5 minutes, estrogen booms up because the plastic's leaking into the water. You're then drinking that. It's very easy to do. Drinking alcohol, for example, increases estrogen, lowers testosterone. Masturbating, for example, makes you feel like shit, whereas a woman, when she masturbates, she feels amazing. She actually gets an energy boost off the back of it. You have all these things that, sitting in front of the TV, playing games, whatever. If a woman sits down and stores extra body fat and she gets an estrogen boost, she actually feels better, will probably look better, and probably even gets curvier. She gets bigger tits, her ass gets fatter, her hips get wider. She becomes more attractive. But for a man, it's the opposite. A man will just look like shit, feel like shit, nothing helps. And the modern world that we live in, fluoride in our toothpaste, for example, destroys testosterone. Everything, I posted the other day about the average men's care product, skincare products, had 5 or 6 of the most toxic ingredients for men. One resembled vaginal fluid, and it's got the same kind of makeup as that. And that was in in most men's skincare products. Now for women, that's great, okay? It's natural to their body, it boosts estrogen. When men are putting on all these skin creams and body creams and whatever, yeah, their testosterone's dropping and the estrogen's going up. And this is something that we need to really take seriously as a man. I get the piss taken out of me all the time by my friends because I won't do certain things. Like, oh, here, put some sun cream on. I'm like, no. I'm going to use natural, organic, unrefined, raw shea butter. They're like, you're crazy. Am I? I'm in shape. I'm healthy. I have energy. I'm passionate about my business. I'm always motivated. I'm always focused. It's, my dick always works. Like, there's so many components in life that it's like, for me, that's not over the top. Being in good health, going to the gym and getting unbelievable results, getting a sick pump and just feeling like, you're actually headed where you want to be in life, feeling positive. I come back today, I get on here, I feel confident, like I can talk to any woman without feeling nervous. My testosterone's high. Like, I don't think that's too bad an issue, but so many guys are just, trust me, if you messaged me and just showed me like a video of your day-to-day life from day one to, from the moment you wake up to the end of the day, I guarantee I would find like 16 to 20 moments where you've destroyed your testosterone by doing something you shouldn't have. Cooking with a Teflon pan. It's little things like that, okay? Like taking a microwave meal, all that plastic leaking into your food. Like, guys don't realize like how many extra things are happening to them. And like I said, it's just easier for men to fall out of a hormonal imbalance. It's just a lot easier for us to do. And when that happens, depression is the next logical solution, or the next logical stop on this journey, because you're out of sync. You're not thinking the way you normally do. You're not feeling good. You're not in the gym. You're not feeling like a real man, just jacked up, lifting heavy weights. You don't feel like even going to the gym. Do you see what I mean, guys? And it's just a lot easier for us to fall out of that habit. Now, the next one is the pressures to become wealthy. And we're seeing this a lot lately, okay? Like I've said before about that Cardi B song, Broke Boys Don't Deserve No Pussy, which is actually a double negative. I won't go into that again, but she's so stupid, but never mind. And all these girls are like kind of filming it on TikTok, and they're like, I know that's right. That's the line that comes after it. And girls will be talking about stuff like, oh, if you don't earn any money, just don't even come and talk to me now. And the pressures on men to be rich are incredible. There was a girl who, I think there was an OnlyFans girl on is it the Roommates podcast? I think I showed a video of them before. I think it's the Roommates podcast. And she was saying if you don't earn $500,000 per year, it's bummy. It's the point we got to now. And all these girls are on OnlyFans making hundreds of thousands per year, per month, sometimes per week. And it's just kind of opened the floodgates for like, this level of wealth is now achievable. How far can you go? How far can you push it? And most men cannot keep up with this because they're not a hot 19-year-old chick with big tits or a tight ass. Do you know what I mean? So it's very hard. So in order to do that, it's going to take some grind. And those pressures are unreasonable and massively unachievable. And we'll get to that in the next point. In terms of a male timeline, we'll get to that in a minute. But in terms of this point, the pressures on the finances, it can hammer away at men. It's very tough to live up to those expectations of, oh, you're a doctor, you earn 6 figures per year, you're broke. Wait, what? That used to be like the best thing ever. And it's like the Darwinian male concepts I told you guys about before. What was once praised is now expected. Oh, 100 grand a year? Why are you not earning that? And it's like, fuck. As men with that, like, if a woman is ugly via birth, puberty, whatever, she gets to 18 and she's ugly, obviously it's in the eye of the beholder, but publicly, vast opinion, most people would categorize her as average or ugly. It's very hard for her to have a good life, which is sad, okay? It's very hard. Like, she can have a good life, but she's never going to be like elite level, attract any man she wants. Like, her options are limited. She's probably not going to be as happy as other women. Scientific studies have found this, that the more beautiful a woman is, the happier she is, the more submissive she is, the more agreeable she is. That's just, you're like that when you're happy. When good shit's going on in my life, somebody's like, oh, can I borrow that? Yeah, whatever, yeah. Have £1,000, I don't care. When shit's going wrong, I'm like, fuck you, you're stealing from me. Like, it changes your mentality, okay? So a woman who's not, as attractive as she could be, she really struggles in life. Now, the same card is played for men when it comes to success and money. If a man doesn't have success, if a man doesn't have money, assets and stuff in place, he's not really considered valuable or worth anything to anybody. Like, oh, you can't provide. Oh, you can't pay for marriage, kids, a house, all that shit. Why would I want you? And it's, it somewhat makes sense because we are the providers, we are the masculine role, but the amount of pressure on men now is massively unreasonable. Now, I do believe at some point in a man's life, he has to get to the point where he is self-sufficient, he is earning good money. It might just be 50, 60,000 per year, self-sustainable, got some good assets, made some clever investments. That's a necessary part of a man's life. But moving on to point 3, which is going to tie all this together, which is confusion over the male timeline. And this is where guys mess up, is I believe you should do that at some point in your life. You should reach those heights where you are wealthy, etc. But not in your 20s, not even in your early 30s. And this is what people forget, is I always tell you guys, a man's life starts at 30, a woman's life starts at 18. An 18-year-old woman and a 30-year-old man are the same age. I'm always saying to you guys, men and women the same age are not the same age. A 25-year-old woman and a 25-year-old man are not the same age because they're on different timelines. We peak at different times. We get different things given to us, okay? And I'll get to this in a later point as well. It all makes sense. It's all building up to like a holistic picture in terms of depression. But our timeline's completely different. So a man gets to 18 years old, he's spotty, he's awkward, he's got no money, no assets, he's not had life experience, all these things that are considered masculine, okay? Like a big frame, a solid jawline, a good beard, whatever. It might take years to grow, it might take years to work on, to lower that body fat that you've accumulated in your teens from just eating shit food and whatnot. You've got excess, like, kind of puppy fat around your face. Like, there's so many components. A woman turns 18 smoking hot. Never stepped foot in a gym in her life. Never lifted a dumbbell or a barbell. Never done any exercise. Eats dog shit food all the time. Lies in bed all weekend watching Netflix. Smoking hot, straight 10. It's just given to a lot of women, okay? So when they get to like 21 and they're smoking hot, they're at their kind of peak, their absolute prime, 21 to like 23. And she's saying, oh, I need a man who's, on my level. She's not talking about the guys that are her own age. Now they think they are. Oh, why are all these guys so bummy? Look at me. I'm doing well in life. Yeah, because you've got looks. It's propelling you forward. It might be OnlyFans. It might be a 9-to-5 job where the boss is like, she looks really good in a skirt. Bump her up to, hire her. Number one, I want to fuck her. And then let's give her a couple promotions because, again, I want to fuck her. Or if she's sat in front of the clients are going to love her. They're going to lap that up. And she gets more opportunities. It helps when you're young and hot, okay? I've worked in finance. I've seen the interview process. A hot girl walks in and everyone's like, when can she start? I've seen this happen, okay? So these girls that are like, I'm 25, I work at JP Morgan, I earn 100 and whatever thousand per year. It's like, yeah, because you're hot. You've literally been pushed up the ladder because you're hot. Hot girls attract deals because rich men like hot women. Rich men want to deal with hot women. They think they can land the deal and then fuck the girl. It's nothing to be like proud about. She might have put some work in, but it's mainly your hot that's doing it, okay? Now, as a man, you might get to 21, you're broke. Like I said, you're awkward. You're trying to figure life out, trying to put things together. It's a lot easier to be hot naturally than it is to be successful, wealthy, have assets and stuff over a 10-year period. Like, you're going to have to, unless your parents are rich, you're going to have to work for 10 years minimum to build up some decent amount of money or have an incredible skill like a top level athlete. So many guys get depressed because they're like, well, I'm supposed to be at this level and I'm not. I'm behind in life. Like, I get guys messaging me, I'm 19 years old, I'm broke, I'm going nowhere, I'm depressed, am I a loser? I'm like, you're 19. You're 19. Like, you're only 1 year old in my book. This is another thing that I do. When you were 3 years old, ask yourself, you're watching this now, why didn't you start a business? Why didn't you get in the gym and start bench pressing 120 kg at 3 years old? Tell me. You can't do it, can you guys? It's just stupid, right? You can't do that at 10 years old. You can't do that at 15 years old. Like, you could, but it's just not the same. It's only like 18 before life opens up as a man. You know, it's only like 18 years old before things start. Oh, okay, possibilities are now on the table. I can go and do all these things. I can get a job. I can start a business. I can choose what I want to do in my life. And even then, it's like 25 before we actually fucking figure it out properly. And this is one of the biggest problems for men, is that we've got all these financial pressures because we don't understand the timeline. We don't understand that, as I've said to you guys before, 18 to 30 is pre-season. It's pre-season. You're building up to something. The season hasn't even started yet as a man. Like, I'm 28. I feel like this was the first year of my life where I went, oh, I know what I want. I'm going to start putting stuff together. Maybe 27. Okay. So, but it's been a year from 27 to 28. You see what I mean? Like, it's within that kind of time frame or a little bit more. I've not had long to really figure out what I really wanted to do, and things just exponentially have already like sped up. And by 30, I believe I'm going to be 95 kg, 10% body fat, multi-millionaire, everything I've ever wanted, looking 10 times better than I do now, and 100 times better than I did like 2 years ago. Things just take off for men. And then you enter the male advantage. If you're new to this channel, it's something I really promote. You can see that in the book, in the audio book, in the ebook. It will step by step lay out the blueprint that men need to live in order to experience that properly. But that is a big reason for male depression. Oh, I should be at this level. Oh, this girl earns 100 grand a year. She doesn't find me attractive. I keep getting rejected. Yeah, you're on different timelines. Women are 10 years ahead of men. 10 years, guys. As I said, a man who's 30 years old and a woman who's 18, they're pretty much the same person. They're roughly at the same point. There's basically no difference between them. They're both at their peak, or just about to enter their peak, or the first year of their peak. They're both experiencing what it's like to have that high social value, to be at the peak of their powers. You know, a man's success has finally gone to a decent level. A woman's hotness is finally at its like decent level, and they're about to experience those peak years together. And that's one of the biggest problems, is men don't understand that that's a real thing. You see in the blogs, you see on Sex in the City, you see on TV, whatever, all the time. Oh my God, I'm turning 30. You know, you see it in like Friends and stuff like that. I believe they had enough seasons that probably happened. Oh my God, I'm turning 30. I'm not married. I don't have a house. Yeah, that's a woman's thing. Like they've somehow clouded the two together and made that a female and male thing. It's not. It's just not, okay? Because if this is as good as a male life gets at 28, where I am now in my life, there's not very good, okay, guys? It's not very good. All I've done is grind. My teens and 20s, I've sacrificed, I've grinded, I've got in the gym. I'm waiting for the time where it goes ping and I enter my prime, which is going to be 30 to 60. Men get those prime years where they're just at their peak. You know, 30 to 50 ideally, but you can go to 60 as well if you keep yourself in shape. That's when we take over the game. Women get teens and 20s, sometimes early 30s, but men get 30s, 40s, 50s, you know, until the day they die, until they become too old to really function. But it is like a 30-year gap, and women get like 15, 16 years to be at the top. The male peak is like, it takes longer to build up, but then it's a lot longer lasting. And we kind of take over because our value is deemed on assets and stuff like that. And we're on a different timeline. So everybody who applies pressure on you and says you're nearly 30, you're 25 now, you're going to sort your life out. You're a man. Take your time, be patient. These things take ages to put together as a man. You're not a hot chick who can just rent her body out to some fat, hairy guy in Dubai. There's different rules for us. Now, the next one is there's no get out of jail card. So if two people are 25 years old, man and a woman, both unemployed, life not going well, trying to figure it all out, just struggling, just trying to figure out where the hell do I go from here? What's the next step? Well, if both decide, okay, we're going to have a baby, let's say they're a couple. And they go, okay, we're going to have a baby. Well, for the man, that's the worst case scenario. For the man, that's like, oh shit, I'm going to have to earn even more money. Oh shit, that's one income now coming into the household. Even if, you know, she could get a job now, she can't really, so to speak. And she wants to stay at home with the kid. Okay. And then the family pressures. You better get a job. You got to take care of this kid now. What are you going to do for money? It's all on the man. It gets put on him. A baby makes his life exponentially worse. He has less money, less time, etc. It's harder for him to rise up and become the man that he needs to be. For a woman, Your life's going nowhere. You're unemployed. You're not too intelligent. You're not the hottest. You know, you're like, fuck, where am I going from here? You get pregnant. Bang, done. That's it. It's game over. You're a mother now. You have an 18-year job. You're hired. 18 years. Somebody's got to take care of you. It's either going to be the state or it's going to be a man. It's a get out of jail card. It's very easy to do. Oh, mother's a full-time job. Look, I appreciate that and I understand it. But the pressures are gone. The pressures are long gone. And a lot of women now, and to be honest, I don't really blame them. Like, have you ever sat at an office desk on a Wednesday hating your job, thinking, fuck, 2 more days of this shit till the weekend, and then it starts again Monday, and we're 3 weeks away from payday? So a woman meets a guy who's, you know, he's all right, you know, he's a decent level, he's got money, and she thinks, fuck it, he finds me attractive, I'm going to get pregnant. It's annoying because obviously I run a men's brand, but at the same time, I'm like, look, I see why you did that. It makes sense. Life's tough, okay? Any advantage that you can give yourself, okay, I get it, okay? So the next one is longer transformations. Now this links to the 2 earlier, pressures to become wealthy and confusion over male timeline. Longer transformation, okay? The average woman at 18 is probably a 6 out of 10. Probably a 6. Guys, you got to. The other thing I want to say as well is people have got to change their scale of 1 to 10, what it actually means to be a 10. You know, 10 is very, very high. If the best person on the planet is a 10, the average person is like a 5 or a 6. So the average woman is like a 6, okay, at 18 years old. Most are in shape. Most are kind of pretty with makeup. Most can make themselves look like a 8 on a night out. But most are like a 6, okay? So most women start at level 6. They get in the gym, they do 2 years of squats, so all they have to do is work on their legs, you know, they just do that and get on the treadmill for 10 minutes at the start of each session or at the end of each session. Probably going to rise up to like 7, 8 out of 10. She's marrying a millionaire if she wants to. It's, you know, it's on the cards, it's on the table. She makes the best of herself, makes herself look good. Any 7 or 8 out of 10 is probably marrying a millionaire or a guy who's earning 6 figures a year, whatever. Like, it's not hard to do, okay? And it's a lot easier for them to reach like a decent level a lot quicker. The average man when they're 18 years old is a 3. And I've got to change his opinion of guys. Most guys are like, oh, at 18, I was like a 7 or 8. You're deluded, okay? You're using my rarity scale, which is like global rarity. You've got generational rarity, you've got global rarity, you've got national rarity, regional rarity, then you've got local rarity, okay? And then you've just got friend zone rarity, where like you're the best looking one out of 6 people in your friend group. Most people are living in friend group rarity or local rarity, and they don't understand what else is out there. Like on a global scale, you're a 3, okay? When you're an 18-year-old man, you're a 3. You're broke, you're spotty, you're awkward, you don't understand life yet. You've not figured anything out, your clothes are shit. Like, you're not masculine, you're not experienced, you're going to make a ton of mistakes. You think you're great, I can get any woman I want, yet under like a 5, right? But guys think, oh yeah, I'm a player. Like, I look back at some of the girls that I slept with when I was really young, like 18, when I thought I was best looking guy in the world, a player. Yeah, they're not nice. But back then I thought they were unbelievable. And it's just kind of the way it goes, okay? You scale up, you're a big fish in a small pond, and then it grows and it, you know, you rise up and you start figuring shit out a lot more. But most guys are a 3. And this is what I'm saying is, in order to get absolutely fucking jacked for a man, it might be like 4 or 5 years of solid training. Well, at that point, you're going to be like 24, 25 years old. Okay, now you've got to worry about success if you weren't doing the 2 together. Well, you know, if you're starting your business or whatever, or you're going on a 9-to-5 job journey, you want to rise up to the top, it's probably going to be like 10 years before you really get to a decent level. Now, if you start that job or journey at 18, you're probably going to be 28 before you get there. So, best case scenario, and this never happens, by the way, but best case scenario, an 18-year-old guy gets in the gym, solid, like really takes it seriously, makes 0 mistakes, starts a business or gets a 9-to-5 job, makes 0 mistakes, rises straight up as high as he can. By his 28th birthday, he's sat there and he's in shape and wealthy. Perfect scenario. And that's why it's so rare that guys before 30 have anything in place. And this is what gets so many guys depressed, is they get to like 26, they're skinny, they're like a 4 out of 10. They're still trying to figure out like, they've gone from the high school to real life kind of, what did I call it before, guys? The switch, the high school to adult life switch. Where it's like in high school, girls love certain clothes. They love certain hair being flicked in a certain way. And then you get to like 25 and you realize all of that was absolute bollocks. And you go, fuck, I've been chasing all of that for like 5-6 years. What now? Oh, well, girls like successful guys, successful men with assets who dress this sort of way now. Like everything ups a level. It goes up to professional levels. I like a guy who's masculine, who dominates me in the bedroom. Fuck, when I was at high school, I used to think it was the nice guy that brought you flowers and candy and whatever. Like, everything just switches over. And a lot of guys miss that. So then they get to 25 and they go, shit, I need to sort my life out. I'm going to start focusing on the gym and business. It's like 35 before they actually sort their shit out. Our transformation is lengthy. It's like 10 years minimum. And gym is like 4 or 5 years if you want to be elite, okay? If you want a really good physique, 2 to 3. If you want to be elite, 4 to 5, okay? And I'd recommend 4 to 5 because why not? You know, you got time, you're in your 20s, you might as well do it. Even in your 30s, you might as well do it. To be honest, even in your 40s, you might as well go for it with TRT. You might as well have it at some point in your life, right? So you might as well go for it. And that's the problem, is the transformation just takes so much longer. The average woman is naturally a 6. The average man is naturally a 2 or a 3. You know, at best, the hottest guy in your high school, the jock, whatever, he was like a 5. On a global scale, that's what I'm saying. On a global scale, he's like a 5. And you're like a 2 or a 3. It's hard, okay? It's hard to rise up. It's hard to get out of there. But the average woman, because they're judged on sex appeal and beauty, the average woman is like a 6 or a 7. Like, it's very easy. They're just, you look at any 18-year-old girl, it'd be hard to be like she's less than a 6, unless she's like really let herself go or whatever. But the majority of girls can make themselves look like a 6 or a 7 on a night out in a club, whatever. Like, it's easier for them to do that. And this is why so many guys get depressed, is their hormones are out of balance. It's easier to impact that for us. They've got the timeline completely wrong. There's massive pressures to be wealthy, but they don't understand it's going to take a long time. They don't understand that they start at a 2 or a 3, and it's going to be a 10-year journey, whereas a woman can go in a gym, squat for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and look 10 times hotter. You know, she can drink alcohol, for example, and the extra estrogen and body fat and the extra calories go straight to her hips, her ass, her tits, and now she's 10 times hotter than she was before. She's an 8 from doing 20 minutes in the gym. This isn't me being a dick towards women. I've been in offices, I've been in gyms for like 10 years, okay? I've seen women in gyms. They don't do a lot. There's like 1 or 2 that do, and they look fantastic. But apart from that, most women are on their phones, just like that. I'll just do 10 more squats. And they don't push themselves with a real heavy weight back on their phone, whatever. It's 20 minutes. I'm going to fuck off home. I'm going to go out tonight with the girls, drink a load of drinks. And suddenly I look better. She forms into an 8 out of 10, a 9 out of 10. It's like, how on earth is that even possible? If a guy did the same thing, you'd remain at like a 3. So that isn't me shitting on women. It's just our bodies work differently. But then you get to 30, the woman does the same lifestyle, she's going to look like shit. Whereas a man is going to, you know, continue getting better because there's certain things that just fall into place for us. And like I said, no get out of jail card. So with all of those things in place, we're massively depressed because men are sitting there going, my life's going nowhere. I thought I'd be at this level by now. Women want money. I don't have that. How do I make it? I'm not in the shape I want to be in. I look young and awkward. You know, oh, this is my peak. Oh, shit, my 20s are my peak. Oh, fuck. When I get to 30, I'm going to be old. I've got nothing to show for it. Am I ever going to attract somebody? And it's like, men, you need to realize when you get to 30, life starts. You're going to be able to take over. Like, you will then attract all the women. They will start coming to you. They'll start getting desperate for you. It changes completely. But that mindset of, I'm behind in life, I'm in my 20s, I need to make the most of my 20s now, this is my peak, why didn't no women like me, why am I getting rejected so much, why am I a skinny, spotty little prick? Like, all of this stuff is natural, but guys don't realize this. And then they're living a lifestyle where their testosterone is dropping and it's making them think like a woman, where they overthink everything, where they panic about everything, cortisol goes up, they stress, estrogen goes up. Like, it's not a good scenario. And then they start storing more body fat because they're trying to go out drinking and keep up with women. You know, they're not getting enough sunlight, like I said, because there's things like gaming, watching TV, and it lowers testosterone, whatever. It's like a whole culminated effect. And for these doctors and experts to come on fucking BBC and be like, yeah, it's because men don't talk about it enough. Shut up, prick. Like, you have no idea how the male body actually works. Like, I could cure anybody's male depression in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'll just change your entire lifestyle. And then I'll get you fucking bench pressing the heaviest shit you can find. I'll get you deadlifting the heaviest shit you can find. I saw some guys in the gym today. They were on their phones. One was laughing and joking. And he was like pissing around when he was about to lift the weights. And I didn't do anything. But I wanted to be like The Rock, where he's like, focus! There's a difference in mindset. Like, you can just see that testosterone is low. They've not got it. And that's the type of guy to go home and sit there and look at pictures of a girl and be like, why doesn't she want me? Oh, I wish she'd want me. This shit leads to depression. You got to be a fucking monster. You got to be a beast. And you only get there from raising those testosterone levels, from understanding the male timeline and knowing that you're going to peak later than women. Just knowing that you've got to put probably 10 years of grind in. Just have that self-realization and self-awareness that you are a 2 or a 3. I'll bring a picture up now of me, just 2 years ago. I was like a 2. Okay? I've absolutely grinded now in the gym. Everybody thinks I'm on steroids. Everybody keeps asking. I know, like, t-shirt don't look like it because I'm cutting right now. I'm pretty shredded, so it doesn't look like it. But you can see old videos when me and my tank top. I look pretty fucking big right now. And things are coming together. I got SMP in September. That's going to get all dotted in. You know, money's obviously consistently going up. I've made some real smart investments. By 30, I'm set. I'm set in all areas. And I've been working on that. Then I take over. It's the male advantage. And I suffered from depression when I was 22, 23 years old because I was like trying to figure life out. Oh no, but my life's over. I'm 23. I look back now at 28 and I think, twat. Like, it's understandable, but I think you twat. 23, like, I was so young. Like, you should have been... While you're depressed, you're not focusing on what really matters. And by understanding that male timeline, by understanding that your journey is probably a 10-year one, you're like a 2 or a 3, okay, in terms of social value. By understanding that all these things are not going to fall into place for you at 18 and you're going to start an OnlyFans account and have 100,000 followers. Like, yeah, there's the odd guy on TikTok, like a Bryce Hall or whatever, and we see the state of that guy when he boxed the other day. Like, he's just some weak little tosspot. Like, it's a fanny of a man. That's not a real man. Like, outside of TikTok, he's a pussy. Like, real men like me would just snap that cunt like a twig. And this is the thing. On, like, you see all these platforms like Instagram and TikTok. Most of these guys with 1 million followers are making zero money. Oh, you see my bank account? It's like 100,000. They've got like 100, 200,000 in the bank account, which is great. But for having like 10 million followers, the shit. They don't know how to monetize stuff. They don't, like, they're still in the same boat as you lot. They might have 1 million followers and they're banging girls because they're famous, but they're not making proper cash. They're not putting points on the board. They're having to take steroids to get jacked. It's just tough for everybody, guys. It's just there's certain different routes. But for the average guy, 99.9% of us, forget 18 to 30. 30 and onwards is when your life starts. And 18 to 30 is when you got to put that work in. You got to start a business, go to a 9-to-5 job and take shit for 10 years and grind up. Make smart investments with your money on business or your 9-to-5 job. However you make your money, reinvest it very well into smart investments that are going to pay you back long term. So make an investment at 20 with a 10-year vision at 30 to cash that out. That sort of thing will get you to the top. You know, get in the gym, become a beast, learn about testosterone, how to keep it high, increase your confidence. You know, the higher your testosterone, the more confident you're going to be anyway, okay? And like I always say, confidence is just when there's no fear, anxiety, and all that other shit available. So the only thing that can remain is confidence. You know, it's a state of just being. And that is what will happen when you raise your testosterone, because you'll be like, I don't feel anxious anymore. I don't feel nervous. I feel like the biggest, most confident guy in the fucking room. I can do whatever I want. I can talk to anybody. It takes years to get to this stage. Like, I'm 28. I've ticked that box now. But I'm ahead of the average guy because I've sacrificed maybe 6-7 years in my 20s to get to this kind of point. And it's only going to get better from here. It's going to be exponential. You saw what I looked like when I was like a 2 just 2 years ago. Well, 2 years later, I think I'm probably like a 6 or something there. Okay, I'm gonna be like an 8 by the time I'm like 30 years old, whatever, maybe like 29 years old, like it becomes exponential. And then my aim is to be like a 10 by the time I go into my 30s. It's possible, okay? You can do that. And this is why guys get so depressed is, oh, I'm not at that level, or I'm not, it's the grind. It's a rite of passage. We don't have them anymore. We don't have to go and kill people with a spear. Oh, now you're officially a man. You can go and get married and have children, whatever. Our rite of passage now as men is like 16, 18 to 30. Those struggle years, and be grateful for them. Like, instead of getting depressed, sit there and be like, this is great. I'm struggling. Things are bad. I'm learning. I'm growing as a man. Things are going great. That's the mentality I would deploy if I could go back now and be depressed. I'd be like, this is fantastic. Life's shit. I've got things to actually improve on. This gives me a goal. I'll go to the gym tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. and get jacked as fuck. I'll start a business. I'll go to a 9-to-5 job, save up as much money as I can, and put 50% of it into smart crypto investments. And then I'll wait 10 years, and you fuckers are going to see what comes out at the end of this. When I was depressed at 23, let's do a 7-year investment till I'm 30. Guarantee I'll be a millionaire. You get optimistic. You have things to look forward to. And then your testosterone's up, so it changes your mindset. This is why depression exists, okay? And it's because you don't have men like me, you don't have role models like me, where a lot of guys grew up without fathers as well, or at least decent fathers that were tough, who would say, you're going to struggle, son. Like, things are going to be bad. Things are going to be tough. Good. Grit your teeth. Get on with it. Get out in the fucking world. Like, I'd fall over as a kid, skin on my knees, start crying. My dad would pick me up and shout in my face, and he'd be like, and I've got witnesses that told me this. I didn't know it happened. And he was like, you got to be hard. You got to be tough. He was like, stop fucking crying. I'd have to instantly stop crying. Right? And people would be like, that's abuse. Look at me today. Excelling in all areas. And I don't say that to brag. I just say that to prove a point. But there's so many guys out there that expect like a gift box to fall from the sky and unravel it. And it's like, here's £1 million. It's like, guys, at some point got to get in the trenches. Oh, it's not fair. Women get a good life early on. It just gets given to them. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Slightly annoys me too sometimes. But what would you rather? Would you rather be at your peak at 18 and by 30 your life's finished? And by 50, 60, 90% of women are ignored by everybody? Which is sad, but it's the truth, okay? 40s as well, like 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. These women are ignored. They're like invisible when they're walking down the street to everybody who doesn't know them. Or would you rather struggle from 18 to 30 and then from 30 to like 70, you're top fucking dog, running the game, all the money in the world, getting treated with all the respect in the world. And like a 75-year-old man who's a multi-millionaire is treated like a fucking boss by everybody. A 75-year-old woman, it's not treated the same as like a broke, unemployed, hot 18-year-old girl. Which would you rather? I'd rather the one that I can work into and then live the rest of my life. It's not that bad, guys. I know depression is hard. It's not as bad as we first thought. If you want to grab our men's lifestyle supplement and male advantage ebook, all links are in the bio.